Welcome Standard 12th. Today we'll start with the second book which we have to study, that is Indian Economics, and the chapter number is 1, Indian Economy on the Eve of Independence. The first thing which comes is, what is Eve? Eve is one day prior to the independence, that is evening before independence. So in this chapter, we'll take up paragraphs. You read the paragraphs. I'll just tell you the gist of those paragraphs. The first part is the introduction. In the introduction part, it tells you that India was under British rule for almost 200 years. And in these 200 years, India turned, there was a major transformation in Indian economy. India turned from an importer of goods to an importer of finished goods. First, India was selling its handicraft and local goods abroad. Now, it was only selling raw materials abroad, and it was buying finished goods which were manufactured in Britain. So, the first para introduction tells you that India was under British rule for 200 years. It gained independence on August 1947, 15th August 1947, and the sole purpose of the Britishers was to fulfill their demands to make their country more developed, and for that they were just using Indian resources. The second para that comes up is low level of economic development under the colonial rule. This para tells you that before the advent of the Britishers, that is before the coming of the Britishers, India was known as a golden bird because it was self-sufficient. It was self-sufficient. It did not have to take anything from anywhere else. Whatever they produce, it was sufficient for them. So the key features of Indian economy before the coming of the Britishers are as follows. So the key features of Indian economy before the coming of Britishers was that the main source of livelihood for the Indian people was agriculture. That means more and more people were dependent upon agriculture. And the second was, India was known for its manufacturing, that is small scale handicraft industries, and the industries which included cotton, silk, metal, precious stone works, etc. These handicraft industries were known for two things. First was the fine quality of raw material they were using, and second was the high degree of craftsmanship, which was not found anywhere in the world. So because of these two factors, Indian industries or Indian handlooms were demanded everywhere in the world. But when the Britishers came up, they transformed the Indian economy, and the major transformations that took place was India became an exporter of raw materials, and India became an importer of finished goods from Great Britain. So these were the two major transformations. During this time, Britishers never thought of finding the per capita income or national income of the Indian economy. What is national income? So the revenue earned by sale of goods and services by a country during a year is known as national income. And when you divide this national income by total population, it becomes per capita income. So Britishers never thought of calculating national income or per capita income of India. Some notable economists of the early periods like Dadabhai Naoroji, whom we called as Grand Old Man of India, Frimley Shiraz, V.K.R.V. Roy, and so many, R.C. Desai, they were the first economists tried to calculate the national income and per capita income of India. Among them, the best known is R.C. Roy, whose estimates were actually taken into considerations. It's R.A. O. Rao. So his estimates were taken into consideration, and when they found out that the country's growth of aggregate real output during first half of the 20th century was less than 2%, and there was only 0.5%, that is 0.5% growth in the per capita output per year. So a very small amount of growth was there for the Indian economy. Next para deals with the agriculture sector. So we'll see the key features of the agricultural sector during British rule. Okay. So at the time when the Britishers left India, what was the condition of agriculture? Agriculture was the mainstay of Indian population because 85% of the people lived in villages and their main source of income was agriculture, either directly or indirectly. But although so many people were engaged in agriculture, agricultural productivity was very low. Agricultural productivity was low due to various reasons. Among them, the first major reason is the land settlement system. Under land settlement system, there are three systems: the Zamindari system, the Rayodwari system, and the Mehlwari system. But in your books, only the Zamindari system is mentioned. Under Zamindari system, the Britishers, they divided the land into different parts. Each part was given under a zamindar, who was responsible for collecting rent of that land. And he used to submit the collected rent to the Britishers. Actually, the rent was collected in 11 parts. 1/10 was kept with the zamindar and 10 by 11th part was given to the Britishers. If the Britishers were not given the rent, if the zamindar failed to give the rent to the zamindari right of that particular zamindar was taken away and given to the next highest bidder, or that person who was ready to give more revenue than the existing zamindar. अगर आपने ये लगान पिक्चर देखी है तो आपको याद होगा राजा बहुत दयालु था, फार्मर्स को हेल्प करना चाहता था, आमिर खान लोग को हेल्प करना चाहता था, बट क्या था, वो लगान कम नहीं कर रहा था। क्यों नहीं कम कर रहा था? वो इसलिए नहीं कम कर रहा था क्योंकि अगर वो लगान कलेक्ट करके ब्रिटिशर्स को नहीं देता तो उससे वो जमींदारी राइट ले ली जाती। तो जमींदारी राइट्स में प्रॉब्लम क्या थी? काम फार्मर्स करते थे, लेकिन जितना फायदा था वो ब्रिटिशर्स और जमींदार में चला जाता था, उनके पास कुछ भी नहीं बचता था। तो इसलिए भी जो फार्मर्स हैं कुछ इंसेंटिव लेने की कोशिश नहीं कर रहे थे कि अपना प्रोडक्शन बढ़ाए। सो द मेजर ड्रॉबैक ऑफ एग्रीकल्चर during the British rule was that of the zamindari system, which comes under the land settlement system. Other problems were there was low level of technology, that means no updated technology was there to increase agricultural production. Then there was the problem of irrigation. Agriculture was a gamble in the monsoons. अगर अच्छी बारिश तो अच्छी खेती, अगर बारिश नहीं तो crop failure. So there was problem of irrigation. Then there was commercialization of agriculture. Britishers had forced the Indian farmers to grow indigo and cash crops, various cash crops like cotton, jute, so that they could be exported to Britain to be manufactured there. So now the farmers were growing more of cash crops in place of food crops. That is what is commercialization of agriculture. Growing more of cash crops in place of food crops. What are cash crops? Cash crops are the crops which can be used for industrial production like jute, cotton, tea. All these are the cash crops. Then there was negligible use of fertilizers. The olden farmers, they used to only use manures and compost for farming. None of the chemical fertilizers was used. So because of all these reasons, agricultural production was very low. Thank you. Have a nice day. Next we'll meet in the other class. Do press the like button and subscribe button for more videos.